still got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up. Throughout the world today.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being with me. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. What color was Jesus? What color was Jesus? Isn't that an amazing question? What color was Jesus? People fighting over the color of Jesus. And it's interesting to me that human beings are fighting over the color of Jesus. In the same way that it's interesting that they fight over black and white, which one is best, or fight over anything, really. If you really think about the things that you fight about, you will feel like an idiot. If you really, really think about the things not somebody else, but you will lay your weapons down. You would lay your weapons down. You really would. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, busy, you can't sit and watch the show right now, anywhere in the world, anywhere in the whole wide world, you can listen to it on your iPhone or iPad, and then you can podcast later, but you can listen by calling the listen line on at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Hit the like button, ring the bell, subscribe. Y'all know exactly what to do. What the? So some of you know it's White History Month in July. July just feels white. And this is our 6th year of celebrating white history around the world, not just in America, but America first. Around the world. I got to drink some water here. Around the world. And we celebrate white history to remind you of what true America is, not the phony, fake America they're trying to build now by getting rid of the true, real America and creating a false image, which is just a bunch of junk, nothing, like a George Floyd statue. What the? Of a drug addict. According to reports. So I want to remind you, we want to remind you, and generations to come, how great this country once was. And the white man who founded it, built it, created it, and with the help of God, came up with some amazing ideas. So to introduce white people activity, some of them, I want to first hear White History Month. We're going to celebrate White History Month with all my friends. White History Month. We'll celebrate what?
It's white.
I don't see it. I want to see it too. What the? I want to see the song and to hear the song. Lord have mercy. If ever. But while he's getting that ready, he didn't know I was going to ask for it. I want you, do what you want, of course, to look around you and see how the enemies of God and America not only trying to destroy America from without, but to destroy from within. That's evil. How would you, why, just think about this. It's not common sense that you would be living in the best. You have the best, and America is the best. And then something about you wants to destroy the best. Rather than saying, you know what, I don't like the best. I'm just going to leave, and I'm going to go to another messy country, a country that's an asshole country. You have it yet? It's taking a little longer than I expected, but we'll see. Especially for White History Month, you think that would be right there. Nick, your computer is not typing words, it's typing symbols. But anyway, you would think that oh, Nick should try to get your attention, Hassan. You would think that they would say, I don't like the best, so I'm going to leave and go to a country that's a mess. But no, they say, I don't like the best, and I'm going to destroy it. I'm going to tear it down. And I don't care if that majority of people like the best. I'm going to tear it down and recreate it in my image. Think about that. Just smoke on that. They had nothing to do with building a country. They had nothing to do with discovering this country and creating, with the help of God, the best. But yet, they would rather tear it down than to build on it or let you enjoy the best. And you are afraid to say something about it or get involved, run for office or something to stop it. And I remember growing up in Alabama on the plantation, because at that time, black people, for the most part, exceptions to the rule, they loved the best. And so they would add to the country rather than destroying it or allowing other people to use them in order to destroy the country. So before I get to some white people activities, we got to see and hear the song.
It's White History Month. I'm gonna celebrate with my friends. It's White History Month. So be sure to tell everyone there will always be different months to celebrate. This month's gonna be White History.
Amazing. Isn't that just heartwarming? Amazing. When I was growing up in Alabama, as I was saying, and in those good old days when boys were boys and men were men, we got our first gun at 15. So when I turned 15 years old, I woke up that next morning and my rifle was there. I had a brand new rifle. And I was so excited, I just got up, unwrapped it, put the shells in it, and went out in the woods and killed my first squirrel up in a tree. Had never shot a gun before. Nobody taught me how. No one said, hey, don't kill somebody, don't shoot somebody. No one said, you need a license or training or anything. It was just natural American way. It was the American way. And during those days, black people were not into thinking, well, do white people go hunting? I want to be white. Do white people go hunting? We just did what was natural to do in America and living on the land. So I got up and I went and killed my first squirrel. I couldn't believe it. And after that, I went hunting for rabbits and all kinds of things. I don't think I ever went deer hunting. Oh, my deer. But I knew it was activities that other black people were doing. And during those days, we weren't like in competition with anyone, with the whites or anyone, though I know now that white people were doing hunting and doing their thing too. And I kind of remember as I reflect right now, because there was this big white house that was on a hill on the plantation I lived on. And the white people would come once a year to go hunting and stuff. I remember that now, to go hunting and things. But we were just naturally hunting as people. But the one thing that white people love is hunting. And I understand it because when you're out in the land, it's a different being born and raised in a city than it is on land, on a farm or something, because you're like totally connected with the environment, the earth around you. And it just feels natural. It's just a natural place to be. And it brings out the best in you, no matter what color you are. It's amazing. But when you move to the city, you forget to look up at the sky, at the stars in the sky, the falling stars at night, late at night. The sky is just dark but beautifully lit up with stars. And the big dipper and things like that, you can just see it. That all changes when you move in the city. The bright lights bright out, it hides the sky from you at night, and you never look up. And the cement on the ground, you never look down. Well, now you look down because you don't want to step in the homeless people dump stuff. You're trying to watch where you go. But it was different. So it's White History Month. And before I get to your calls, and I will, I want to give you a couple white people activities. And number one is hunting. And this is from Car and Driver. Did you know that on average, around 2.1 million deer vehicle collisions happen in the U.S. each year? Did you know that? Collisions. 2.1 million deer vehicle collisions happen in the U.S. each year. 2.1 million. I didn't know that. Deer vehicle collisions happen in the U.S. each year. These incidents are responsible for over $10 billion in economic losses, as well as 59,000 human injuries and 440 human deaths. White people ain't playing. What the? Isn't that amazing? $2.1 million deer vehicle collisions. I remember once, a few years ago, I went down to Alabama back home, and it was like the winter time in that area somewhere. And the deers was running around trying to get pregnant so they can make babies, and the men were chasing the deer. The male deers were chasing the female deers so they could get together, get ready to make some babies. And there were car accidents then, and when you have a collision with a deer, it destroys your automobile. I'm like, what the? And so my family member would tell me, hey, drive carefully. The deers are out, because I forgot. Amazing, huh? But so hunting is natural. It's okay. God is okay with it. He put it in us so that we can hunt, especially for men. And white people love hunting, and especially deer hunting. But the haters of God and the haters of America don't like hunting. I want you to watch. There are some people just don't like it. And they didn't grow up on the land. What the? Watch this compilation.
Okay, look, I'm going to be blunt, and I don't care if you agree or disagree. If you disagree, you're wrong, and that's the bottom line. If you enjoy killing things, there's something really sick about you. Are mentally ill in the worst kind of way. There is a sickness of your soul. Think it's wrong. It is wrong. There's no right or wrong. It's wrong, okay?
What?
Because kids are upset. They're crying because you want to kill deer.
I'm sorry that they're crying. You need to explain to them that it's part of life.
No, why don't you go, Luke, get away.
Excuse me, please don't hit my car.
Do you have a pet?
Yep.
How would you like to see your pet dead?
I think that the hunting at the ranches and the hunting everywhere else, to me, is degrading and violent. And it's a disrespectful way of treating an animal.
Why?
Because I eat.
What did deer do to you?
All right, you're on video. I eat them. Do you buy meat from the supermarket?
Yeah, but we're not going to.
If you know people who like to shoot animals, you need to ask yourself why you are friends with that person, why you overlook that trait.
I mean, we're not living in the pioneer times where, for some reason, people were sustaining themselves.
It's barbaric, it's sadistic, and we just don't like to stand for it. Killing is just totally wrong, and whether it's by a gun or an archer.
What about fishing?
Fishing happens to be cruel.
What about circuses?
We've protested against circuses.
Okay, there's something very wrong with those people.
That's for sure. I never thought in my whole born life, that I would hear men speak that way about hunting. I just, something, I know we all come from a father state. We all don't come from it because most people love their father state, right? A handful come from the father state, they overcome it. But I never thought, ever since human beings been on earth, men been hunting. And I never thought for a second, a day, a moment, a minute, or anything that one day you will hear men, males, they're not men, because they were men, they wouldn't be doing it, speaking out against hunting. Something that is natural. It's not a made-up thing. It's a made-up thing not to want to do it and speak in that way. But I never thought that one day males would be speaking out against hunting. I see the little weak females doing it. That's understandable. They're emotional. But what happened to the men? I would hate for these men to be living on the farm where we kill chickens every year and hogs. Did you know that every year, at the end of the year, we store up for the winter? So we store up food, sweet potatoes and things like that, peanuts and corn and all that. And then we kill hogs. And the way we kill them, we put them in a little pinhole-like thing so they can't run out away. And we take the back of an axe and we hit them right in the middle of the forehead and knock them out and then cut the throat. And then we take them and then skin them and then boil them. Well, we didn't boil them. We made skin from some of it. But we would take the meat, put it in a box of salt, and put it away for the winter. And the kids wasn't crying, oh, you're killing the hog. You hit the hog in the head. The kids were happy to be out there to help do it. What the? And then when we had a hen house, chicken coop kind of thing, so we raised a bunch of chickens. And the little chicken would be running around the yard. And then when my grandmother wanted to make some biscuits or dumpling or whatever, right? She like, why don't you go out there and kill one of those chickens and bring him here? Bring the chicken here. So I would go out and take the chicken by the head like that and wring the neck. And when I wring the neck off, the neck come apart from the chicken, and let it flop around on the ground till it die. And then we had to put it in a boil of hot water, really hot water, so we could pull the feathers off. How would those males handle that? And even the females, because back in those days, the females didn't have any problem with that. It was natural, and it still is. But what it is, human nature is so low now to the animal, they think the animal feel what they feel. But they don't realize they're feeling what the animals feel. They're on the animal level. And now they want to take the animal and make it a comfort animal. Sleep in the bed, eat out the plates. And then they want you to come over there and eat dinner behind the animal. Man, how the world changed. I cannot believe it. But white people love hunting, and so do the blacks who live on the land. But apparently those people don't like it. That little stupid white kid up there, you gotta kill the animal. What you gonna eat if you don't kill the animal? Fake food? Even they want y'all to eat bugs now. You got to kill the bugs to eat them. The worms. How about fishing? We used to dig up worms out of the earth. Little nasty brown looking worms. And go fishing, put them on the hook, the worm, and catch fish. And that painful too now? These people hate God and they hate America. So you just saw a bunch of folks who don't like hunting. Well, neither does the president, apparently. Fox is reporting that an action supported by Echo Group, whatever that is, an action supported by Echo Group, the Biden administration is moving ahead with prohibitions on the type of equipment hunters are allowed to use. Watch this from Fox.
President Biden's war on hunting is facing serious blowback. That's because the U.S. Fish and Wild Service is expected to publish draft hunting guidelines that could limit the equipment that hunters use on federal refuge properties. Hunting groups argue it makes hunting more expensive and less accessible, same with fishing, because cost-effective lead ammunition would be banned, and it could impact recreational shooting on about 95,000 acres of federal land.
Biden is working with environmentalists to limit hunting and fishing in multiple states.
This is how crazy this administration, and of course it isn't going to be through a law, they're going to do that through an executive order or a ruling. So if you can't do it the old-fashioned way, just try to ram it through. So
I mentioned you can't use lead ammo, lead bullets on federal property. What kind of bullets, what's the backup bullet made out of?
Sure. I mean, there's no good cost-efficient substitute for lead. I'm not even trying to be funny on this, but the best alternative to lead based on its, on its metal properties would be gold.
Man, I want my America back. I want my country back. What is, I'm asking the question, what is wrong with folks? Men, you need to come back to your natural state of being. What's going to happen when they destroy everything in this country? You're going to be Zimbabwe or somebody. Wikipedia is reporting that Stephen Rinella is an American outdoorsman, conservationist, writer, and television personality, known for translating their hunting and fishing lifestyle to a wide variety of audience. Here is Stephen, Ted Newton, and others describing what hunting really is. Watch this compilation. It's amazing.
Come along with me and my friends and enjoy the beautiful, phenomenal world of the out of doors. It'll cleanse your soul. You know, hunting is more than recreation and sport for me. It's almost religious around here. Hunting has always been a lifestyle in the Nugent family. I go to the grocery store with the rest of America, and I buy my groceries like a good boy. But when it comes time for meat and the good stuff, I kill it myself.
It's a thing that has always gone on. No matter how you want to define the beginning of human history, we've been engaged in these pursuits nonstop, without pause. The unpredictability of nature, the unpredictability of wilderness is very, that draws you in. This idea of there's innumerable factors. Take fishing yesterday. There's innumerable factors that you can't control. Some you can understand, some you'll never understand.
It's so beautiful. There is a spirit to the wild. And if you don't get in the woods, if you don't leave the pavement, your life is not complete.
You gotta be aware of your surroundings, utilize camouflage, and constantly hone your hunting instincts. But more important than all of that is patience.
A lot of people have a real misconception of hunting and what hunters actually do. It's teaching you about life, about yourself, about determination, about patience. All of those things that we think make you a better human being and a better member of society. And then if we are lucky enough to harvest an animal, it's not just taken back and put in our freezer. We need to skin that animal out and pull every ounce of meat off of that animal into our backpacks or onto the horse, get it off the mountain, then prepare that again to be wrapped in cut proper sizes to be pulled out of the freezer to feed our family during the winter. You know, the same way someone would see it on a grocery store cooler. It's not easy. And for those that may judge us or look down upon us, I would strongly encourage you to rethink it for a moment, to just reevaluate what hunters are actually doing. All of us came from somebody building a log cabin somewhere in a world like this and going out and harvesting an animal and feeding their family with it. Get outside, smell the smells, see the sights, and enjoy the greatness of this country or of your country.
I'm stoned on nature. I'm drunk on freedom. I'm exhilarated and inebriated by the spirit of the wild.
Amazing. That's the America I know. I don't know this one about slavery. Back in a moment. Highly recommend you get them. 7 guaranteed steps to spiritual, family, and financial success guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Amazing. Watching those videos, they reminded me of so much growing up in Alabama. That's exactly how it was for me. I didn't know the city life like I know it now. That's all I knew. And it was natural, and it is natural. And I just know, I remember those blackbirds. I don't know if you saw the blackbirds in the film there. I remember that. We weren't into racism and slavery and Jim Crow and all that mess, and black people were begging and blaming and acting like victims. We were living. What a mess. The Hake report coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake, Hake report.com. And then at 12 noon, the Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby Show at 12 noon. I want to just finish up with this white history aspect of white people activities. And hunting is one of the big ones. And I remember when it was growing up, it was black people and everybody activity. It wasn't like this mess we have now. So divided. So I just showed you how the apparently the president, so-called president of this country, as well as activist supporters, the so-called eco, is it eco or eco? Eco group. They all like hunting, and these weak beta males that are joining forces with them. Then we showed you Ted Newton and Stephen Rinella. Here they are responding perfectly to arguments from anti-hunting activists. Watch this from Meat Eater and Joe Rogan.
Go ahead, sir.
Stephen, don't you think these animals you've killed want to live as much as you or I do? In fact, isn't this just a rationalization for murdering innocent creatures? To shoot innocent animals that have beating hearts, that run from you simply because they want to live. They're not armed with copper bullets or lead bullets.
I think you're not really asking a question, you're making a point, but I'm going to answer like a question. I would say that if you look at the grand spectrum of species on this planet, you treat humans like a species, we're one. You'll not find many that don't prey on other kinds. On this continent alone, people hunted for 15,000 years, notwithstanding the last couple hundred years. So to not hunt is in some way historically off the mark. To not hunt is a fairly new experiment in a human sense. To ask a wolf not to hunt anymore is an impossible question.
But life is sacred.
Yeah, I know that life is sacred, but I think that what I admire is not, I admire the deer, but I admire the idea of deer more than the individual deer. And I can assure you that I know more about deer than you ever will. And I've learned that through hunting for them. And I probably care about them in a way that's deeper than something you're going to experience from having a removed perspective on.
If you really want to kill the most things, be a vegan. Because the farmers who protect your beans kill everything. I kill one animal per arrow. In order to grow tofu, you have to kill every ground squirrel, every vole, every shrew, every snake, every turtle, every frog, every bird, every rabbit, anything that gets in that bean field. I salute and genuflect at the altar of farmers and ranchers and people who kill animals to sustain my fellow man.
Wow. Where are those men today? What a mess. Absolutely. I couldn't explain it any better except amen. 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 We're losing that in America because the men are following the women. Acting like women, thinking like women, feeling like women. And even, I can't tell you the number of times I see men walking down the road today with a little sheepy dog with them, walking with a little handful of dogs. The little dog so small you can hold it in the hand, they feel all proud. All proud. What a mess. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. I want the good old days back. And you hear some people saying, oh, especially blacks, where was America good old days? Where have you been? I guess the blacks who were born in the city and the white people who were born in the city all their lives, maybe they don't know about the good old days, like when you're living on the land. When you were not walking on pavement every day. I want my America back. That's the America I'm talking about. Just in case you wonder, what do you mean you want your America back? Here is, speaking of hunting, my producer, he loved hunting. Love it. We have a picture of Sean, my producer, with a deer he shot last fall. Watch this. Sean, come and explain this to us. What the? Amazing. That's Sean after he done killed a deer. Oh, my dear. Amazing. He grew up on the land, I guess. So you killed a deer. More than just one.
Yep.
This is Sean, my producer, for those who don't know. And so where were you, when, why, and how? Are you all happy about killing the deer?
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
We can't see Sean? Okay.
Yep. That was me last fall. I harvested that nice buck, male deer, in New York. We have a hunting camp up in New York there.
You have a hunting camp up there?
Yeah.
And every year you guys go hunting?
Yep.
What was it like for you killing deers?
I mean, it's amazing. Hunting is everything they say it is. You know, it's amazing. It teaches you so much.
And it's not only just, it doesn't just teach you how to kill deer. It teaches you about the land. You learn about everything. It's not just one thing.
So many lessons. You know, they mentioned patience in the video, but it's everything. It's, you know, determination, preparation, and stillness.
Yeah, that's right.
Is a big
that's
one.
Deep.
Is a big one. You're out in the woods in the cold for hours, and you have to be still.
You learn about the trees. You learn about how to set up for the deers to things that the deers would be attracted to.
Exactly.
All that.
Like Stephen Rennell said, he's been hunting his whole life. He knows more about deer than that guy who's against hunting will ever know.
I can't believe those stupid weak males sitting up there talking about being against killing.
Yeah. Well, it's like that Thomas Sowell quote about it's impossible to talk facts and to people who are enjoying a sense of moral superiority in their ignorance. They think they're better people than hunters are.
I
so
know.
you can't talk them out of that, because then it would mean they're not as good a people as they thought they were.
And who was that guy again that knew more about deer hunting?
Steve Ranella.
Steve
Steve Ranella. Yeah, he's a very well-known American hunter. He's got a show and everything. He's amazing.
He has a show now?
Yeah.
Steve Ranella show?
The Meat Eater. It's called Meat Eater.
Oh, it is? Nice. And let me see your picture of the guy killing your deer. Amazing.
Yep. Amazing. And that was with a bow, and then that was the second deer I ever shot. The first one was with a rifle. But I also didn't grow up. I did grow up in the outdoors, but I didn't grow up hunting necessarily. I only started hunting maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
Nice. And I never killed a deer with a bow. It's always been with a gun.
Yeah, it's tougher.
Rifle, yeah.
It's definitely tougher. With a bow, you really have to get maybe 30, 40, 50 yards away. With a rifle, it could be 200 yards away, 300 yards away easily.
Yeah.
So it's more of a challenge, but it's more fun too.
Let's see that picture again.
Man, I'm getting all amped up just thinking about hunting season coming up.
I know. That's how I felt when I was playing this compilations of Stephen and Ted and those people down in the land.
Yep.
It just brought back so many memories.
Yeah.
Very nice memories.
The first day that I went hunting,
I
didn't sleep all night long. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just I was so ready to go. I felt more focused, than I really ever felt. It's everything they say it is, and man, it's just amazing.
Amazing. Let me see. I think didn't Hassan go deer hunting with Ted Newton or somebody?
Yeah, we have a picture.
Oh, we do.
Wow.
Yeah,
what the?
Hassan with the rifle and Ted Newton. What was that about?
Yeah, it was actually my first time ever shooting a gun, and he's just kind of teaching me, just showing me how to shoot.
What was it like for you for the first time?
Man, it was just like Sean is saying, man, it was so peaceful, and you have to be so silent. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny, Ted, because 6 months of his life, he's playing guitar at the loudest volume possible and being like a rock and roll crazy person. And then for 6 months, he's completely serene and calm. And, like Sean said, you have to be so disciplined and silent that it's interesting to be able to kind of do both. Not many people, I don't think, have been able to master.
How did you come to meet him?
So me and his son are
his son and I.
Yeah, his son.
Or his son and me.
Are really.
It ain't me and his son, that's for sure.
Hassan and his
Mac
son.
and me. Yeah, we've been really good friends and done music and stuff together.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's funny because me and his son and I are vegan.
Right. Yeah, I had heard that.
So so I had never done anything in that world of shooting or hunting.
Yeah.
And what was the most amazing thing was how much care and how serious he was about hey, don't mess around, pay attention.
Yeah.
And I think people who are scared of guns, if they knew that people who are professionals are so avidly serious about gun safety and gun knowing the gun and understanding everything, I think they would relax a little bit more.
So
people
true.
aren't just like cartoons.
No.
It's very, very there's a respect, there's an appreciation, and so
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a level of awareness that you have to have. Or anytime you're anywhere near a gun, anytime you're hunting, there's a higher level of awareness you have to have.
I think what's even Finish your point.
Oh, just in order to be safe,
Yeah.
and in order to have a successful, hunt, you have to be deliberate with every single small little step. And by the time you actually take the shot and harvest the animal, that's not even really what it's about. It's about all of the preparation that went into that.
Yeah.
And it's similar to life in that way.
I think what's evil though is the people who are afraid of guns and don't like shooting guns and identify with an animal, rather than them saying I don't like shooting, I don't want to shoot, and
Right.
going about their life. They try to stop other people who want to do what they want to do. That's the darndest thing I ever seen.
Yep.
Just because they don't like doing that, they want to shut. It's like mama, and mama don't like it, she don't want anyone to do it. Instead of just saying, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go swimming. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah.
They want to stop people from shooting. What a mess.
God gave us dominion over the animals.
That's right, and over the weak people.
You have to conquer the beast.
That's right. That's right. We better act like it. Hassan, let me see your picture there one more time.
Yes, sir.
Where's Hassan dog? Is he running around somewhere?
This was right before he was born.
Amazing.
What a mess.
And Ted Nugent has more than one son, all right?
Yeah, he does. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
I was saying that we got to go to the Spirit of the Ranch and do the show live.
That would be amazing.
That would be a dream come true.
It really would.
Live in the woods. We do the show and then film hunting.
A hunting segment.
That's incredible.
Amazing.
Let's do it.
It looked just like where I grew up, too. It totally looked like that. I feel at home.
Yep.
Shout out to Ted Nugent.
Shout out to Ted Nugent. Amazing.
And oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Something something I would say to anti-hunting activists.
Get lost.
Get lost.
No.
Get a job. Take a bath, hippies. No, just kidding. But I would say, in a survival type situation, if the apocalypse happened, and we were all had to suddenly live in camps and they had been starving for 3 days and I went out and shot a deer, they would eat the deer.
Not only would they eat it, they'd be trying to take it if
Of
you
course.
don't want to steal it.
All their ethical
Yeah.
dilemmas that go on in their head would disappear if
Yeah.
they were starving and had to eat and had to eat something. They would, of course, they would eat it, and they'd be grateful too.
Amazing. And those people oftentimes they're pro-abortion people, right?
Right, pro-abortion.
They don't want to
anti-hunting.
think about that. They don't want you to kill the deer, but they want you to kill the human being in the womb. I thought life was supposed to be sacred.
Damn.
Either it is or it's not.
Right.
Oh, a mess.
Go hunting.
Anyway, thank you, man. Amazing introduction for those who don't know how white people activities are. What white people activities? Oh, nice. Amazing. Very nice. Let me go to Bree, a first-time call out of New York. Bree, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hey, Bree.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
All this well. Thanks for calling.
I don't know. I'm kind of nervous.
Relax. Take a breath. It's just Jesse.
This is my first time, actually, getting a chance to get up early enough to, be here on time. But I wanted to get your opinion on marriage because I watched viral videos and stuff, and you bring up, having kids out of wedlock. So when you say that, is it I'm not married on paper, but I follow the Bible and what the Bible says about marriage. So meaning we both got blessings from both parents to come together, and we've been together for 3 years, and I am about to be 32 weeks. Should I get married on paper? Is that like a important? Because of course, getting married on paper has its benefits, but we don't. We take the Bible, like what the Bible says, about marriage over, getting married on paper? What do you think about that?
That's a really good question. In all honesty, getting married on paper is just another way for the government to control you and take your money. And marriage is of the heart. And if you can do it that way, it can work. I mean, I'm not telling you not to do it on paper because I don't want, the government to come down on you, whatever, right? But it's just another way of controlling you, taking your money.
Yeah, because my mother, my mom, she likes to put, it's all about her, not necessarily what I want to do. So she's been, for the past, months, just pushing, oh, y'all have to get married. You have to get married and stuff, I don't know.
Why don't you give your mama the finger and go live your life?
That's exactly, how it's been going. Me and him moved to New York, and we're in a rural area. My mom is from the city. I grew up in the city. My mom is very liberal, I would say, democratic. We are conservative. And she pushes what she wants to do onto me. So she wants to live through me. She wanted to name my child, wanted to name them, and all this other stuff. It's never been about what I want.
And
it's always.
What did you tell her when she wanted to name your child?
Okay, you want to know what is ridiculous? So she is with a younger man. She wanted me to name my child after him.
What the?
Yes, she wanted me to name my child after him. And they've only been together for about a year now. And he's only 4 years older than me. He's old enough to be my bigger brother.
How old is he?
I told her he's 24.
And how old is your mother?
My mother's going on 40.
Wow.
Yes.
Your mother got some real issues.
Yes. Real issues.
And so when she said that to you, what did you say?
I told her no. I told her, why are you giving me names of people that have no significance to me? And, she just kind of laughed it off, even though I could tell she was pretty upset.
Yeah.
Okay. So then when, my husband, he, chose the name Elijah. So she tried to, do the whole middle name thing. Oh, you should name him this. Then again, bringing up her boyfriend, as the middle name, and, no.
Why don't your husband tell your mother to back off, stay out of your life?
I feel like...
Bree, can you hold for me?
Yes, I can.
All right, let me take a quick break. 2 more hours to go. 888-7753-773. I got to take a break. Hake is coming in with Hake News, not the fake news, but the Hake News. The guy with the good hair, and I'll be back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Emergencies declared in the flooding mess in Vermont in the Northeast. Actors are threatening to strike over living wages, communist buzzword. And Little Rocket Man firing ICBMs again. California has spent $17.5 billion recently to fight the homeless problem, but it grew. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Wednesday, July 12th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour two. Jesse Lee will be right back. But first, Hake news, not fake news. By the way, the lines are full, but you can call in and get on air with JLP as JLP finishes up with callers. Aretha Franklin's will. You know that singer gal? Rest in peace. Call Me Nonsense Network CNN reports multiple wills were found in black singer and activist Aretha Franklin's Detroit home after her death in 2018. It's already been like 5 years almost around, causing a family battle over the late singer's estate. A jury this week decided a handwritten will found under her couch cushion should stand as the document of record. Wow. Flood cleanup coming in. Call Me Nonsense Network CNN reports thousands of homes and businesses in the northeastern United States are inundated with muddy water following days of heavy rainfall and devastating floods. In Vermont's capital, Montpelier, streets turned into rivers and water nearly reached ceilings in the downtown area, where a travel ban was issued and a citywide boil water notice is in place. So-called President Sleepy Joe Biden has approved an emergency declaration for Vermont, authorizing FEMA to deliver equipment and resources in New York, where emergencies were declared in several counties. The damage has exceeded tens of millions of dollars, officials said. Several cities in the region are now shifting into a recovery phase, but officials say the threat of more flooding, isn't over. More rain is expected to return to New England later this week and could bring more flooding to areas where the ground is already too saturated to absorb any more water. Wow. Actors threaten to strike. Who cares? But I'm going to report it anyway, as much as I can handle. CNN says SAG-AFTRA, the union representing 160,000 actors, is preparing to launch a strike today unless a deal is reached. Maybe they've already started. Who knows? Over contract negotiations with studios and streaming services, the unions agreed to come to the bargaining table with federal mediators. Whoa, if the feds are involved? But it remains to be seen if a deal can be quickly reached over an appropriate living wage. Call me a buzzword. And other key issues. If the actors do go on strike, they would join 11,000 members of the Writers Guild in America, who've been on strike for 2 months. Production of many movies and TV shows has been shut down by the current writers' strike. An actors' strike would bring most remaining productions to a halt, other than some independent films not associated with studios. Little Rocket Man in North Korea. North Korea fired an ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, today that flew for more than 70 minutes. That's Japan's defense ministry saying that, marking a new round of confrontation with the United States and its allies. The launch follows several other recent weapons tests by North Korea, which have been raising alarms among international observers and experts as the country ramps up its development of weapons capable of potentially striking major U.S. cities. Today's launch landed in waters off of Japan, comes after Pyongyang, that's the capital of North Korea, earlier this week threatened to shoot down U.S. military reconnaissance aircraft, engaging what it calls hostile espionage activities near the territory. Just throw money at the problem. Politics is a racket. California spent $17.5 billion over the last 4 years combating homelessness. But in the same time frame, the state's homeless population actually grew. Experts say getting people into permanent housing, not just off the street, needs to be the focus to see sustainable improvement. Don't force them to be responsible. Don't make them work. Don't make them anything. Just put them in permanent housing. What a mess. What a terrible thing. Anyway, JLP will be right back. And by the way, today, 4 p.m. Pacific time, the Bond Archive Sunday service should premiere rebuildingtheman.com/church. I'm James Hake.
To stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to this second hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse. Jesse, my biblical question for this week is a doozy. What color was Jesus? What color was Jesus? What color? Everybody's talking about the color. And based on everyone else's opinion, he was different colors look like. What color was Jesus? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And whether you're deer hunting, oh my dear, or whatever you might be doing, or you're jealous and trying to stop the deer hunters because you don't know how to shoot, you could be listening to the show live, working out anywhere in the world, whatever you're doing. You can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us, Jesse Lee Peterson, on Instagram and rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Hit the like button, ring the bell, subscribe, and tell a phone, tell a friend, telegraph. Amazing. I want to go back to Bree. And by the way, happy White History Month. July is White History Month. And you got to admit, July just feels white. If you missed the first hour this morning of white people activities, you can podcast. It was amazing. It reminded me of the good old days. I want to go back to Bree. Bree and her husband got away from her mother. Her mother's still trying to interfere with her life. And I want to deal with that. Bree, why won't your husband, or having your husband told your mother how the cow eats cabbage to stay away from you and your husband? I mean, you and your husband.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. He's not very confrontational. He doesn't. I think he just wants to keep, the peace. So we pretty much just take what she says. Well, he takes what she says, with a grain of salt. But there has been times where, things she said has irked him, and I think she's, pretty much going to at some point push him to that point. But I have been, pretty vocal about how I thought about her boyfriend, and I don't want him involved. He's not. He keeps, saying my grandson, and basically trying to force us and accepting him as part of the family when I have not known him for more than a year. But yeah, for the most part, he just just takes what she says with a grain of salt, and he's just focused on working and providing, and getting things ready.
What does your mother say when you tell her she's too old to be with someone 20 years old?
I have not told her up front, that's. I called her cougar. I guess,
she's too old.
I don't.
Why haven't you said that to her? Especially now, since she's trying to impose her life on you. I could see it if she was just out there doing her own thing, didn't involve you at all. But since she's trying to impose it on you, why haven't you said you're too old to be with a man, a young boy, 20-something years old?
I guess I want to be. I still want to be respectful.
Is she respecting you?
No, but okay. I don't want there to be, because there was conflict between me and my mother.
There's still conflict.
It's not as bad. I would prefer it not to get to the way it was. So, I mean, yes, I know she's too old to be with, this 24-year-old man. I'm just, I just don't want conflict with her. I don't want to, because she's very combative, and her side of the family is very combative. They're like bears. When you say something about one person, they all want to come at you.
Yeah, they build an army against you.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, you're right. They will build an army against you.
Yeah.
That's what the devil does. But let me ask. Just ask. You said you and your husband are living by the Bible, right?
Yes.
Doesn't the Bible tell the husband to take his family far away? Because you are his family now, meaning him, the two of you and your kids. Doesn't the Bible say that the husband should protect the wife and children?
Yes, it does.
And so how are you living by the Bible and he's not doing that?
We are technically far away.
But he's not protecting you from your mama, though. He need to tell her to stay away.
So should I not have love and respect, your parents, even if they are like, you know what I mean?
I need to get the first part of the question answered. If you're living by the Bible, you and your husband, why isn't he taking charge of his family and telling this woman how to eat the cabbage and to stay away, or you're going to block her? Why isn't he doing that?
I don't know. I can't answer for him.
But you're his wife, and he is allowing you to fight with the devil, not only inside of you, but outside of you, inside of somebody else. He should protect you from the devil on the outside. What's the purpose of having him if he's not going to fight that for you?
I've never thought of it like that. I guess, he doesn't really, I don't know. I'll talk to him about that, because I've never myself thought of it that way.
Why not? You said you're living by the Bible. Why haven't you thought of it?
And that I take it like in a literal sense, like, yes, moving your family away and focusing
that too,
on
absolutely.
Your family.
A man should take his woman and his children far away from his family and her family, and they become as one. And your husband's not, he's taking you away as a physical way, but the worst part is the spiritual aspect of it, and that's what's destroying you right now. This woman is destroying you, and she love it. And he's allowing it to happen, your husband.
We're not. I'm not letting. I'm not. It's what it's. She's just talk.
But she's
We're not
evil,
letting
though.
her influence.
She's evil.
Yes, it's very. Yes, it's evil. I agree.
And he's supposed to protect you from evil outside of you. He can't do anything about it on the inside except point you back so you can overcome it. But he's supposed to protect you from these evil people.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'll have that conversation with him because that does make sense, and I've learned something, and because I haven't thought of it, in the spiritual way.
Yeah.
So,
we are fighting spiritual battles, not physical battles.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the other thing about honoring your parent, it just simply means don't resent them, forgive them. They know not what they do. They could not help themselves. So don't resent them so you don't become like them and you can have a better life. It doesn't mean you got to put up with the mess they try to throw on you. It doesn't mean you got to take care of them. It doesn't mean you have to hang out with them. It just means don't hate them. They could not help themselves.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still learning, Jesse.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah,
I'm still learning. I'm not saying, when I say follow the Bible, I'm trying. I take from the Bible and try to implement that into my life as much as possible. So I'm still learning, about the spiritual aspect of it as well.
Yeah, right. I understand that. So it's just, have you forgiven her for being so evil?
I've forgiven her.
You told her?
I don't. Yes, I've forgiven her because there's for a long time I could not forgive her and her family for what they did to me in the past.
Yeah.
But I've forgiven her because I know that's what God would that's what God wants me to do. So.
And what did she say? What did she say when you told her you forgive her for what she's done?
She told me, she said, "Thank you, thank you for forgiving me," because I cut her off for a very long time, and the past was hurting me, and just bringing that up every, I was ready to let go. Because the past was really hurting me.
Give me an example of what you mean by the past was hurting me.
I was very angry with my mother. What her side of the family did to me, and I feel like my mom allowed it to happen.
Well, the reason I asked that, I want you to know that the past was not hurting you. Your resentment, your anger of what happened to you is what's hurting you. The past is just a moment in time. It doesn't even exist anymore. But because you had not forgiven, the devil would remind you of a so-called past to make you think about what happened, and that would bring the pain on. But once you forgive, you would neither have a past or future. All you will have is right now, eternal life. And so your forgiveness is what makes you free, not the time itself.
That makes sense. Yep.
And so, so a friend of mine just texted me. He listened to the show. He said she shouldn't say anything to her mother about her boyfriend/husband. She should just live her life. The husband should only step in when her mother come into the territory, telling them what to do.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
but you got to let your husband handle this, and you need to back away from it, and just don't deal with your mother, period, because she's evil. You don't owe her anything. You owe your life to God and to your husband now.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I agree.
And you should just let her know, you know what? If you don't back off, lady, I'm blocking you from all my social media, from my phone. I'm not taking your calls. Just stay away from me. But don't be angry so you have no guilt. You can be free. And the devil can't use guilt against you to control you as well.
Okay.
But you need to let your husband deal with this.
Okay. Yes. I'll give him full control over,
Because
that.
if he doesn't deal with this, then you're going to run over him because he's weak.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to protect you and his children from evil, and your mother is evil.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what you've said about her. When you were
Yeah.
growing up and you would ask your father to protect you from your mother, what would he say?
Well, my mother and father, they separated when I was 4.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad is in, he's in Utah. We still have a relationship. It's just not, it doesn't feel like a father-daughter relationship. So I guess my dad really could not be there to protect me from my mom.
And do you forgive
She wouldn't
him?
allow it.
She wouldn't
Yes, I
allow
forgive
it?
him.
Oh, good.
She wouldn't allow it.
Yeah. You
I
have
forgive him, and
No, go ahead.
I forgive him, and I know his story. And I know how my mom and her family tried to make him seem like he was a deadbeat. Oh, he don't love you. But I knew because my dad, he would spend majority of the time with me when he was, there when we were all still together. It was my mom who pushed him away.
Yeah.
And, used me and my siblings to kind of control him. And I guess he couldn't take it and he moved.
Nice. And so you've had that conversation with him?
Yes.
Nice. Well, are you doing the silent prayer?
What's that?
It's a prayer that I have on my YouTube channel there, rebuildingtheman.com/church, rebuildingtheman.com/church, or silentprayer.video. And I want you to, you still do your little hooping and hollering, praising the Lord and carrying on. And when you're done with that, be still and know God. So God can bring you out of your imagination, out of thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything, except practical thoughts. What you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, that kind of stuff, whatever, right? But you got to come out of your imagination because that's where the devil dwells. And it's darkness, it's evil, and these emotions that you're feeling that are coming from the thoughts are all evil too. They're not you. And if you be still and allow God to take over, He will set you free from the darkness and you'll be fine.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Yeah. Did you know that all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything?
Yes.
Okay, stop. Why do you still believe them then?
I don't know. I could give you a legit answer.
Well, start doing the silent prayer every morning, every night, and during the day, practice keeping your mind where your body is. Your body is eternal, is in the present, and that's where you want to be instead of thinking about yesterday or tomorrow or last year or 10 years ago or the future, which doesn't exist. It's time, and it doesn't exist. God is into right now. He's about right now, not tomorrow, and that's where you want to live too.
Yep.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Do you obey your husband? You're welcome. You obey your husband?
I do.
Nice. What's it like obeying him?
I I like taking care of the house while he's out, working.
Right on.
And providing for us. It feels good. And it feels good, I love when he tells me that, he appreciates what I do for him.
Right on.
I get up early enough before he goes to work, make him breakfast every now and again, and prepare,
Amazing.
meals for him. I love doing those things for him.
Nice. Well, tell him to protect you from your mother and let him deal with her. And that way you don't have to be concerned about it.
Okay.
And tell her to be straight up with her. Don't sugarcoat it.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Okay.
Any other question before we run?
No. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Same here. Let me know how the prayer go and how it goes when your husband start dealing with your mother. You back off and let him handle it. That's the purpose of having a husband. At least one of the purpose of having a husband.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make friends with the devil.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
I wish you well, Bree. Let me know how it goes.
Thank you.
All right. God bless. Bye. Bye now. Amazing. You can't make friends with the devil inside of you or friends with the devil outside of you. Human nature is evil. And the devil will hunt you down inside of you, trying to destroy you. And he will use other human beings to hunt you down to try to destroy you. It's a spiritual battle, folks. It's not a joke. It's not nothing to freak out about either, but it's not a joke. And the devil is serious about destroying you. He ain't playing. And he will use your family members, your own husband or wife, or your so-called friends or co-workers. He'll use whatever he can to keep you in hell. Isn't that amazing? And mamas are evil. Your mother is your enemy, not your friend. Don't hate her. She can't help it. Satan is her daddy. He's controlling her. It's not her, but it's the spirit that made a home in her. Super chat.
Super chat.
Super.
Yes, sir.
Amazing, huh?
That's something else.
Would you ever let your mama control you?
I'd plead the fifth.
Oh, amazing. Super chat.
Good morning, Super Chatters.
Good morning, y'all.
On D Live with a diamond from Mav Angel. Did Ted play you a tune?
Amazing.
He did. We have some tunes coming. Stay tuned.
Nice. Thank you.
Nice. Riley JM on Streamlabs, JCLeePeterson.live. Is going fishing considered hunting?
You're hunting for fish? I used to love fishing too. And when I moved out to here to LA, I did it for a while. I went fishing for a while. I remember once I went down to Mexico. And in Mexico, they, Baja, I believe it was, they have Mexicans helping you. You get out on this boat, and then the Mexican put the worms on the hook for you.
Wow.
They find the worms, put them on the hook, and all you do is throw your thing out of the water, and then you catch the fish, the Mexican take them off.
You don't have to get your hands dirty, huh?
Right. And the Mexican clean the fish and everything.
It seems like that takes away part of the fun and part of the experience.
It really does.
Yeah.
You don't get the whole impact of what it's like.
Yeah.
Sean called it Mexican hookers. What?
I disavow.
I do too. I disavow. But it's fun fishing. Yeah, it's hunting. Thank you.
On Rumble.
I remember last time I went fishing. One last thing.
Yeah.
Because I get seasick out on big boats. When I go on the little boats, I don't get seasick.
Oh,
the
okay.
little tiny boats. But the big one, I get seasick. I got so sick. I was throwing up. I felt dizzy.
That was on the rich people boat with the Mexican
on the Mexican
servants?
boat, yeah. I had to go down to the bottom and lay down, and they gave me some seasick medicine.
Dramamine or something?
Something.
Nice.
But I never went back again. I was like, what the?
DIY fishing.
Right.
Do it yourself.
Thank you.
Based Nation on Rumble, a Rumble rant, rumble.com/JC Peterson. People who hate hunting are projecting what's in their heart, thinking hunters are murderers when it's they themselves who are committing murder in their hearts every day, he says.
Just think about that. They're okay with you killing children in the womb, but they don't want you to kill deers for meals. What?
Doesn't even make sense.
The word Grandpa tell me about the good old days. Thank you.
Greenwall with a diamond on D-Live. Some modern hunters use ridiculous amounts of tech. Indeed.
Of what?
Technology. Tech.
Some modern hunters do that?
Modern hunters
To hunt with?
They use all kinds of technology.
Like what, for example?
Ask Hassan, he knows. Gears and stuff. Well, maybe he's not talking about gears.
Maybe we'll have AI hunting.
AI assist.
I think it's cheating.
Computers.
Real hunters don't respect it.
radars. I might be making some of this stuff up.
Bow and arrow
X-ray
or nothing.
vision.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I appreciate it.
I'm sure it's true, though.
Yeah.
We don't doubt you.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's just I don't know what it is. But thank you.
On Streamlabs.
It sounds like they don't know either.
Who,
you or Hassan?
We just named off a bunch of stuff, I'm guessing.
He said they might start using AI.
Experts.
We are the experts. Riley JM on
My
Streamlabs.
friend said, so you wouldn't survive the slave ship.
unless it's a little dinghy. A dinghy's a little boat, right?
It would have to be one of those little boats you have to paddle with.
Right.
The slave boat. Now, I have to be on the slave boat, not the slave ship. Amazing. Thank you.
Riley JM on Streamlabs with another. I've killed rabbits, big rats, and water moccasins with my blowgun and killed snakes with my slingshot.
That sounds so fun.
Nice.
Like so much fun.
With
Thank
a blowgun.
Amazing. You ever done that?
I've fired guns before, but never killed animals with those things. I've killed animals with like sticks and bats and rat traps and stuff like that.
Right.
But that's about it.
Would you like to go deer hunting
I don't know.
and kill a deer?
I'm not completely
Why
against
Hassan
it.
laughing?
Maybe because of the awkward pause.
Oh, my dear.
Do they have video games? I just stay inside. You guys go out.
Bambi music.
I'm telling you. What the?
Well, thank you guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Amazing. Thank you all. I do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
There's one. My bag. Buymeacoffee.com/
Buymeacoffee.com/JLP.
Talk. Someone bought a coffee. Jesse, I ate deer meat before. They call it Bambi. LOL, lots of laughs. It was delicious.
You have not had a real dinner until you have a deer dinner.
In a crock pot with carrots, potatoes, and put ginger, garlic cloves, black pepper, and it's yummy in tummy.
Make you want to hurt somebody.
Whoa.
It's so good.
I disavow. Now that's all for now. Thanks again.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Let me go to Don, a first-time call out of North Carolina. Let's see here. Hey, Don, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing?
All is well, sir.
Hey, so I have a question. You know, I know that you're super big on silent prayer and not letting things get to your head, but I have a situation I want to run through you.
Okay.
So I had a buddy that I was close to like for 10 years, you know?
Don, hold on for a minute. Let me take a quick break. I didn't realize we were so close to a break. Hold on. Can you hold?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me take a quick break. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Okay, welcome back. 888-775-3773. 888-77-JESSE. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. TheHakeReport.com. And then at 12 noon Pacific time, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. You don't want to miss it. Neither one of the show, both Pacific times. And at brand new episode of the Fallen State.tv coming up this Friday, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Brand new episode of the Fallen State. I had an interesting discussion with Dory Love. He's a street preacher, evangelist, and founder of the Ministry of the Word. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
What is your purpose of street preaching?
To save souls. Every single time when you go against me, you're going to lose because I stand on the Bible and the Bible is the truth.
How do you know you have returned to God?
Because I don't have any anger and I forgive everybody.
Blacks used to think for themselves.
God makes you a free thinker. You think outside the box.
Were you liberal at any point?
Yeah, when I was on welfare. Yeah, Clinton, give me that check.
You have children?
Or a girl.
Beta. That's this Friday, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. And remember, you can support the Fallen State by becoming a member on the YouTube channel there. All right? Thank you in advance. 888-775-3773. There's the line open. I want to go back to Don, a first-time caller out of North Carolina. So, Don, you say you had a friend for 10 years, and what happened?
Yeah, so can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
So I had called him one time, and something personal had happened, and that's my first mistake, even though I thought he was my friend, telling other people personal stuff. But I called him, and something was, funny about his voice, and, something in my head told me that he had a female listening to the conversation. So I asked him, I'm like, yo, do you have a female listening to this conversation? And, for a second, he was, starstruck. He was like, how did you, in his head, I know he was thinking, how would you know? And he was like, yeah, I got a female listening. And so I hung up on him, and I blocked him off of everything. I blocked him on my phone, social media, everything. And then, a month later, he called me off, a blocked number and was, apologized. And, I was wrong for what I did. We've been friends for 10 years, blah, blah, blah. So I forgave him. And then like a couple of weeks later, I wasn't telling him anything personal, but like he had a girl listening on the phone, and like I cut him off, and then like I cut him off again, and like, you know, as somebody that was a buddy of mine for 10 years, I'm thinking to myself, how many other times did you do this that I didn't know about? And I try to forgive and forget, but like that it keeps bothering me, and I want to know like how I should just let it go, because like I try to let it go, and then like, you know, something will come up and I'll remember it, and I'll start getting agitated and upset and angry about it. Like, how could you? Why would you have a female? Like, I called him and I told him I got something personal to tell you. Yeah. You've been my buddy for 10 years, and then you got this female listening on the phone. Like, you wanted her to hear what I had to say that was personal. That means that, like, you respect what this female thinks more than you respect me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Jeff,
absolutely.
I don't know how you would feel if you called somebody that, you know, you respected, and their wife or their girlfriend was listening into the call and it was something serious. Like,
yeah, I know how you feel. How old are you?
Well, at the time I was like 27, 28.
How are you now?
I'm 28 now.
Oh, okay.
I'm 28 now. So it was like 6 months ago.
And so your question for me is what?
How can I like let go of that anger for what he did?
Let me ask, and then I'll give you some good advice about this. What is a friend?
A friend to me is somebody who's genuine with you, somebody that's going to have your back in a time where like something goes wrong. Because there's been times where he sent me money, but not been, you know, financially messed up. I've sent him money when he's been financially messed up. I sent him money for his baby shower. You know what I mean? Like, somebody that's just going to have your back when times are rough, somebody who will keep it real with you when you have bad problems, things like that. Somebody that you can call and speak to, and they're not going to fake it.
And how did you come up with that definition of a friend? Where'd you get that from?
I don't know. I guess that's just what society taught me.
From this day forward, do what you want, but I recommend you never listen to society again. Society is evil. Human beings, until their heart changes from anger to love, they are evil. And number one, there's no such thing as a friend. It doesn't even exist. It's just another made-up word where people put definitions around it to make it sound good, and then you go out and you expect that from people because you have learned a lie, something that's not even real. So no such thing as a friend. And I want to encourage you to stop putting titles on things. Let go of all titles and just live your life. And if you hang out with people, you're just hanging out with somebody. It's not a friend or an enemy. You're just hanging out. Don't put any titles on it. And that way you have no expectations. You will have no expectations, so you can never be disappointed, because you'll be living your life. Your help will come from within, which is from God. So you got to drop all your titles and identities. It's like when man and woman get married, immediately they see themselves as husband and wife, and now false expectations come. And when one or the others don't live up to the false expectation, they catch hell from one another. They start fighting, trying to get something from one another that they don't have to give. And then if they don't get it from that person, they go out and try to get it from someone else. Let go of all your expectations, all right, your identities. And forgive this boy. He cannot help himself. He does not have love. And so just don't resent him for it. He couldn't help it, just like you couldn't help but tell him your business thinking that he was your friend. You couldn't help that. So forgive this guy and move on with your life and be done with him. Wish him well, but have nothing else to do with him. And when Satan try to remind you of an illusion of a past, let those thoughts pass. They're not true. It's just Satan is trying to get you to overreact in order to destroy you. It's just a thought. Okay. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything.
Jesse, can I run? I know you probably have another caller in, but I'm going to be able to ask this question within less than 30 seconds.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, like, I know you just said don't believe in thoughts, right? I try to put all responsibility on myself when things happen to me.
Right.
The other day, I went into a restaurant, and I know the owner. So I ordered something, and the girl at the front, I asked her for an extra sauce, and she tried to charge me for it. And I said, hey, talk to the manager, not the manager, the owner. I said, the owner never charges me for it. These little packets of sauce, she was trying to charge me like like it was going to come out to like $6 extra for just these little sauces. So I said, go talk to the owner. The owner came out and was like, oh, no, he's cool. He comes in here all the time. He's a good customer. Give it to him. And then the girl started arguing with the owner about giving it to me for free. Mind you, she's not a manager. She's just a girl that works there. And, like, I think to myself, like, do you think that, like, that's just something that's out of my control? Should I try to, like, do you think that was something that I did? Like what would cause her to feel like she doesn't, like, I don't even go in, I'm not even in there long enough for her to have something against me. You know what I mean?
Right.
What would make this female want to argue with the owner of this restaurant when the owner told her to give it to me free? Like, do you think that's something that I can work on myself to change in the future?
Beautiful question. It's the anger in her heart. She's a wicked woman. She's evil, and she's trying to make somebody else feel the way she feels so she can try to feel better. It has nothing to do with you at all. Zero. And so if you took it personal or you felt something inside of yourself about it, then that's your problem, because it means that situation allowed you to see what was in you. And she's not responsible at all for the way you felt. You were already that way before she met you. But that situation gave you a chance to see what was wrong with you. And if you felt angry back to her, or you felt fear, or you felt you took it personal, that means there's something in you that you need to overcome. So just watch that. Be glad for that situation, because it allowed you to see what was in you and let it pass, and you would never have to. God would take, that's the spirit of the devil, that's the spirit of evil. That's a false identity that's inside of you, and God would take that away from you, and you'll be free. So when situations happen in the world, you won't be moved by it, because you would not be of the world. You would be in it, but not of it. You would no longer get identities from the world, because you would have overcome the ego of the devil, which is not you.
And me doing continuing to do the silent prayer will help me do that?
Absolutely. Do the silent prayer and practice watching those thoughts. You are not your thoughts, the so-called ones that make you feel good and the ones that make you feel bad. They are not you at all. Let them all pass so that the light of God can destroy the imagination and emotions. He would take that away from you. It's not you.
Okay, yeah, because I was shocked. I mean, I've never seen somebody, an employee, not the manager, but the owner of the restaurant. She was literally arguing with this lady, like telling her that she shouldn't give it to me for free. And I'm like, I've never even done anything to you. Why are you so angry with me?
Well, now you're learning human nature. That is human nature, which is of the devil. So when you see it, just learn from it, observe it, and don't be shocked or anything. Just don't be shocked about how you feel about things when it come up, and don't be shocked about how you see others. And you will overcome the devil, and the other people will suffer. They love their hell. It had nothing to do with you at all. It was all inside of her.
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
Let me ask, how did you feel when she did that? What were you feeling inside?
Well, I felt like maybe I did something to piss her off. I felt like maybe she's like you said, she's evil. She has because after she did it, I started laughing, and I'm like, "Are you pissed off about that?" And she was like, "Yeah." I'm pissed off about it." And then she mushed the sauce in my hand, and I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to I wanted to reach over there and slap her, because the owner just told you to give. I come in here. The owner is super cool with me. The owner was telling me that she pointed out her daughter who works here and was like, "Oh yeah, that's my daughter over there. She needs to lose weight." she was telling me, like, don't tell anybody this. I'm not even Mexican. I'm from Honduras. I just hire good Mexicans to cook here. Like, she's super cool with me. So, like, for this employee to be yelling at her, trying to tell her not to give it to me for free, I was just shocked.
Well, here's what I want you to practice. Stay with the prayer every morning, every night, and watch those thoughts during the day. Keep your mind where your body is. But stop being shocked about what human beings do. They're evil, and I promise you it has nothing to do with you. They were already evil before you met them, just as you were already evil before they met you. You're overcoming evil. They might not be, so they're trying to hurt you so that they can feel better about their evil. That's all it is. It's not personal, and you have nothing to do with it. So stop arguing with the devil outside of you and inside of you. You become a watcher of evil, not an argument or fight with evil. God will fight the battle for you.
Damn, that was good. Stop arguing with the devil inside of you. I like that, Jesse.
Yeah. And when you believe thoughts are yours, and when you talk to yourself about the thoughts and all that, you're arguing with the devil. You're fighting with evil. It's a spirit. You can't do anything about it. So don't argue with it. You just watch it. You sit at the gate and watch the thoughts, and you'll be fine.
Thank you, Jesse.
Stay with the prayer, but listen, just practice not taking anything personal. When someone come at you or try to hurt you or make a mockery of you or embarrass you or whatever, just watch it, knowing that that person is evil and it has nothing to do with you. You didn't cause them to be that way. You didn't cause them to overreact. They love their hell. They love evil, and they're trying to stop the light in you. They hate the light in you.
All right. Thank you, Jesse.
All right. I wish you well, Don. Let me know how it goes.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
You too, buddy. You got to overcome the world, folks, by overcoming your false identities inside of you. Drop all identities and all plans and just live your life. It will take care of you on its own. God is greater than you and the devil that you serve. It is done. It's finished. All you have to do is live. Return to the Father and live. Joe is a first-time caller out of Illinois. Joe, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
All is well, Joe.
Oh, man. About the hunting thing, dude. It kind of goes to what's going on. You have to think about it for a second. Why are they trying to stop people from hunting?
Because they're evil and they're jealous.
No, it's because, well, I'm sure it's partly that, but I think it's because they really, who owns 60 to 70% of the farmland right now? Bill Gates, I think it's some number like that. And it's an astounding number, actually. And now they want to cut down on you going out and hunting for your own meat.
Well, it's all about control.
Prey on children.
It's all about control. And these same people that, as we were saying earlier, these same people that's trying to stop the hunters, they are pushing, killing the human beings in the womb. They're killing innocent baby, innocent children inside the womb, and that's because they're on the side of evil and not on the side of good.
Right, and and then they're also hunting our children in the streets. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time combating this indoctrination of the LGBTQ plus AI, ABCDFG at my children's school.
Oh, so you have kids in the public school?
Yeah, I live in Skokie, so yeah, I'm having a bit of a hard time with.
Why don't you take them out?
Because it's the same crap going on in the private school.
Well, let your wife homeschool them.
Well, so we're divorced.
And why don't you find a homeschool community? There has to be homes because more and more people, especially white people, are starting to take their children out of the public and some of these private education, why don't you find a homeschool district in your area and put your kids there?
It's a good idea. I'm going to look into that actually.
Why have it?
But it's not just my children. It's not just my children. It's the community and their children, and like these people are asleep.
But
at
why
the
are
wheel.
you concerned about their children? They have to take care of their own children. Most parents.
I'm concerned about all of our kids.
Why?
And
Why?
this evilness.
Tell me why.
Why? Because I don't want. Because it's evil. This is evil. I don't want to see anybody.
But why are
being
you
indoctrinated into this?
Why are you concerned about other people's children when they are not concerned about their own children?
Well, I don't think it's not that they're not concerned. I think that they're ill-informed. I don't think that they know what's going on in the school
They don't
system.
care. Husbands don't make their wives stay home and raise his children and educate them. The wife, the so-called mother of the children, want to go out and leave the kids in a daycare center or school so she can feel good about her ego. They don't care. Why don't you face reality of that so you can take care of your own family?
Well, I am taking care of my own family.
But
at the same time, I'm also not just standing up for my children at the school board meetings and things of that nature. I'm also standing up for everyone in the community that's not standing up. And I think that we have to band together. And I mean, like, I can't do this alone.
Joe, that's all ego. Why would you stand up for someone that won't stand up for themselves?
Again, I think that it's just them being ill-informed.
No.
Of not really, literally not knowing what's going on in the school system.
They don't want to know.
But yeah, you're probably right.
So answer my question, why stand up for someone that don't want to stand up for themselves? Do you see God trying to stop them from doing that to the children?
No.
And so why are you playing God with other folks' children?
I'm not necessarily playing God with other people's children.
God is letting them
standing
suffer.
up for my children.
No, you said you're also doing it for other people too.
Well, yeah. So
stay
while
with me.
doing
Just stay
that,
with me.
standing
Stay
up
with
for
me. Stay with me. Why are you playing God with other folks' children by trying to fight for them and you're standing up for them and you're standing up for the community rather than protecting your own children? Your order as a father given to you by God is to protect your family.
So how do we crush this then? How do we stop all this if we're just going to worry about ourselves and not worry about anything other than what's going on?
What does it do for you to worry about others?
I don't know.
So if you don't know, why are you doing it?
Well, I'm standing up for my kids, and while I'm standing up for my children, it's hopes that other kids don't have to fall victim to what's going on.
But you can't even protect your own children. They're still in the public school. You're not even helping yourself.
It's true.
You playing God,
well, I didn't
Joe.
I didn't know about homeschooling groups, and then I
Joe,
looked into.
can you hold for me, Bernie? Are you able to hold?
Yeah.
Let me take a break. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. One more hour to go. Manhood Hour's coming up. Hake is coming in with the hate news, and I'll be back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
Iowa state Republicans passed a heartbeat bill for abortion, banning abortion. Nice. More war welfare for Ukraine among G7 leaders. And there's some shark species that are endangered. We all care, right? And the CDC, the Scared Woman-led CDC, is concerned about rabid dogs being imported. How about the diseased human beings? Not sure. This is the end of Hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Wednesday, July 12th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for Hour 3. JLP will be right back for Manhood Hour. But first, Hake news on fake news. There is one line open. You can call in and get on hold to get on air. After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, the Hake Report. Yesterday, we had Joel Friday TV right after Hake. Catch it if you missed it. And, of course, American Anchor Baby at noon Pacific time today, roughly. Rhinos bribing for donations? Coming on Nonsense Network, CNN reports. Republican presidential candidates are testing novel ways to raise money as they scramble for a spot on the next month's debate stage. To qualify for the debate, August 23rd in Milwaukee, candidates must meet both polling thresholds and a fundraising floor, which is at least 40,000 unique donors, including at least 200 contributions from 20 states. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum is offering $20 gift cards to people who donate at least $1 to his presidential campaign. Whoa, get in on that. Entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, nice American name, has promised grassroots fundraisers a 10% cut of the money that they bring into his campaign. Other candidates are simply pleading for $1 donations. They're offering campaign swag at steep discounts. The unique fundraising strategies are now raising questions about whether some approaches run afoul of federal campaign finance laws. And abortion, how about abort having sex out of wedlock? Republican lawmakers in Iowa passed a bill yesterday, that would ban most abortions in the state as early as 6 weeks into pregnancy. The bill now heads to the desk of Governor Kim Reynolds for her signature, female Republican governor. According to the bill, physicians will be prohibited from providing most abortions after early cardiac activity can be detected in a fetus or embryo, commonly as early as 6 weeks into pregnancy, before many women even know that they're pregnant. Former Vice President Mike Pence, of course, posted his support of the legislation on Twitter, tweeting, "Grateful to see Iowa Republicans and Governor Kim Reynolds of Iowa standing for life," he said. Meanwhile, the Democrat backlash was swift, with State House Minority Leader Jennifer Konfrst, Konfrst, what a name, huh? Stating women are not free when they cannot make their own health care decisions. And after today, women won't be free. What a nutcase. Biden and the G7 leaders announced a substantial aid package to Ukraine, seemingly endless war welfare, huh? CNN reports so-called President Biden and G7 leaders are set to make a major announcement today. Maybe they have already have. With Ukrainian unchristian President Volodymyr Zelensky on boosting Kiev's military capabilities, a U.S. official said at the NATO summit in Lithuania. The package will offer additional assistance to the war-torn country, as Zelensky expressed frustration that there is no clear timeline for Ukraine to join the NATO alliance. What a complainer. Joaquin Phoenix, Bad Caesar from Gladiator, Emperor, is going to play Napoleon now. Wasn't he short? Well, Joaquin Phoenix is shorter than average. Napoleon, did you know, was actually taller than average for the time as a French man. Joaquin, I don't think he's very French. I don't think he's very Christian either. I'm not sure. Save the whales? No, save the sharks. Several shark species are facing extinction. Conservation groups are on a mission to save the apex predators before they are lost to history. Don't you like that name, apex predator? CDC doesn't want rabid dogs imported. Updates are needed to protect the public's health, says the CDC, announcing they're changing how dogs are imported in the United States. Proposed updates aim to prevent rabies from arriving from overseas and place most restrictions on people seeking to import dogs from high-risk countries. Wish they'd do that for people. But I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Manhood Hour 3.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE. Brand new biblical question for this week. What color was Jesus? What color was Jesus? Everybody and their mama. Except baby Jessica's daddy have a different color for Jesus. What color was Jesus? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And also, if you're out and about, whatever you're doing out there, wherever you are, anywhere in the world, because we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. You can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad until you can podcast later if you're not able to watch it as it's happening. 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Don't forget to follow us on Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. And follow, like, subscribe, ring the bell, all those good things. And I do appreciate it. I want to quickly remind you, if you didn't know, or inform you if you're not aware. Remind you if you do know, inform you if you didn't know, that the GOP primary debate on Friday, I think it's the first one. Yeah, it's the first one. GOP primary debate on Friday. According to The Blaze, Tucker Carlson will host the first presidential forum of the 2024 GOP primary. 2024 is hosted by Tucker Carlson. This Friday, I'm going to watch it, especially knowing that Tucker is going to host it. A tweet on the Blaze Twitter account indicates that the company will be streaming the Friday event live on the Blaze TV YouTube channel. Carson will speak to Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence, Nikki Haley, and Tim Scott, and Asa Hutchinson. That guy named from India. I don't want foreigners running my country no more, so that's why I'm messing with his name, but it's Vivek. Am I right? Vivek Ramaswamy.
What the?
I don't want the foreigners running my country no more. Look at it. We need, like, real Americans. The real deal. And I mean, not rhino Republicans and all that mess either. We need the real deal. I want my country back. I want to. And before I go back to the phones, and I know I put Joe on hold there. Hold on, Joe. I'll get to you. Oh, it's Manhood Hour every Wednesday last hour. Manhood Hour. What is a man? What is a man?
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Beta. Beta male. A man is a male who turned to man. Alpha male. Live right, be right, and lead the way. A female cop versus guys.
No, I'm not, bro. I'm not bothering nobody. Stop. No, why you affecting me, bro? Get off me. Get off me. I'm not gonna fuck you. No.
Two women can't hold one guy down. Female cops can't hold one guy. Mama says stop.
Get off me. Get off me. No.
This guy walks up, I got it, girl. Amazing. The Anchorman even put that together. What the? That's what I'm talking about. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. So for those who didn't see it live, they had these two female cops trying to take this one guy down. And so finally another guy walked out, came from out of nowhere, and he helped them take him down. And then there's one cop who appeared to be a cop taking the guy out just like that, by himself, and stopping everybody else around him. That's what I'm talking about. That is my America. But no, y'all got to pretend the woman is as strong and smart as the man. It's not true. Just not true. I want my country back. And one last thing, not last thing, but I want to give you this. We're talking, this is White History Month. And in the first hour, if you miss white people activities on hunting, you can podcast. You missed it. It is the American way. Not was the American way. It is the American way. It is the only thing that's going to work. Everything else is a mess. I want to give you another quick example of white people activities. They love skiing too, as well as hunting. Watch this compilation.
Skiing. It's as easy as that. Left, right. A left turn and a right turn.
Wow, they make it look so easy. This is a white people world. Why, look at all those happy white people. They ain't trying to fight with no blacks. Look at them. Happy. They ain't trying to be better than the blacks. They ain't trying to be racist. They skiing, they happy, and they're having fun. They're having fun. Wow. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Can't you see the angry blacks standing back? Oh, that's racist. They up there happy and skiing. That's racist. We got to stop it. It's white to ski, so if white to be happy, it must be racist. I want my country back. White History Month. Amazing. Let me go quickly back to Joe, and Joe has kids in the he has kids in the public school system. He's been fighting the LGBTQ mess, and he want to know, hey, what do I do about this mess? How you deal with it? Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Do you now understand that you're only responsible for your children?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
And you're
but
just
at the same time,
go ahead.
No, at the same time, you spoke about ego. For me, it's not ego. It is just strictly protecting my children.
So if it's not ego,
and
why
I'm not doing that by leaving them in the school system. You're correct. So now you gave me an idea to actually go out and look for something else outside of even private schools. So because DEI is in every facet of society now.
Right. And so if it's not ego, why are you out there trying to save the community?
I'm not trying to save the community. I'm trying to stand up for what I think is right.
Why are you trying to save somebody else's children if it's not ego?
It isn't about saving other people's children. It's about, if we don't come together and we don't fight it together, not one man can do it alone.
Why do you say that?
Otherwise, if I just take my kids out...
No, stay me with that point. Why do you... Go ahead. If you do what?
If I take my children out of the school system and I just say, screw it, and then I just focus solely on them, obviously, how does that solve any of the problems? Anything.
I'm sorry, Joe. Repeat that.
How does it solve any problem if I just take them out of the school system and just ignore it?
So if you took your children out of the public school system and put them in a homeschool to watch over them, your problem won't be solved?
No, but the problem as a whole, my problem would be solved, but as a whole, it would not. So it would continue going on.
So your problem would be resolved, right? Right?
Yeah.
It's
a very simplistic way of...
Wait, I got another question. Are you a whole or are you divided?
I don't understand the question.
Are you a one person or are you divided?
Well, I'm one person.
So why wouldn't your problem be solved as a whole?
Well, my problem wouldn't be solved as a whole, but it would be
why
solved
not?
as because it would still continue going on all around us.
Would it still be affecting you and your children?
Yes, because it's in every single facet of our lives. Even regardless, right now, I take them out of school, we still have to contend with DEI in the workplace, DEI in the college.
Let's deal with one issue at a time. I don't know what DEI is, but if
diversity, equity, and inclusion.
So if you took your children out of the public school, either homeschool them yourself or put them in a homeschool, you would still have to deal with DEI?
Oh, absolutely.
How would you still have to deal with it?
Because my kids would be viewing it and seeing it. You can't go to a movie. You can't take them to a Disney movie or whatever, Pixar movie without it being in...
But why take them to that? You're responsible for your children.
So they can't do anything. So what you're saying is that they can't do anything. We should just ignore it and not fight anything, and we should, because it's ego. That's how I'm viewing this.
Joe, why would you have to sacrifice? You're responsible for your own children. Why would you have to sacrifice them to any of that stuff? There are things they can do and will be able to do where that stuff is not involved. Why would you have to sacrifice them to those things?
I'm not sacrificing them things. I'm trying to save them from those things. My children first and foremost. So if I'm standing up for my children and talking about it, it's also helping to stand up for those who are not standing up for themselves.
Do they need your help?
Yes.
But why can you help them?
We all need our help. We need to come together as a country.
Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that idea from?
Where did I get what idea?
That we all need to come together to save a country.
Our country's in ruin right now.
What is the country?
United States of America.
Why don't you try to save you and your children? Have you heard of Christ?
Again, it's small steps.
Have you heard of Jesus
Where do we
Christ?
start now? At the home. Pardon me?
Have you heard of Jesus Christ?
Yeah, I think so.
Was he one man or the world?
He was one man.
And did that one man conquer the world?
Did he conquer the world?
Yes.
No.
Oh, he didn't? So you have not heard about him then?
Well, he conquered the world. I'm not following your.
Did one man conquer the world? Jesus.
Well, he spread the word of.
Are you a Christian?
He spread his word.
Are you a Christian?
I just turned. Yeah.
And did one man conquer the world?
I don't know.
Well, you don't know much about him?
No, I'm just learning.
Oh, I got you. It only take one Joe to conquer his own world. You need to first conquer your world instead of being on an ego trip trying to conquer other people's world. They don't want you to. They don't want help, Joe. They love going to these schools and fighting with the devils and feeling good and thinking that they are better. They don't want to solve any problems at all. Your responsibility as a man and as a father to protect your children from the world, and you'll be fine, and your kids will be fine. You'll be in it, but not of it. You are not responsible for.
I feel you on that. Makes sense.
You're not responsible for other people's children. They don't even care about their children. They don't. These mothers is out there fighting and carrying on in these schools about the LGBT mess. They don't care about the children. If they did, they would stay home and raise their children.
Yeah, calling in trying to get different viewpoints of it, and for me it is an ego. I'm thinking that standing up for my children is standing up for the community, standing up for other children. I'm not literally saying I'm standing up for my neighbor's children, but by me speaking out against it, I hope that they don't have to deal with that either.
Why do you hope that? Because they don't even hope that for themselves.
But maybe they don't know.
They do know
what's going on.
No, they know. Everybody in the country know what's going on.
Talking to some parents, they don't seem to know what books are in the schools.
They may not know every little small detail, but they know what's going on.
But that's like the biggest detail.
And yet they sacrifice their children to the public school or some daycare center because they don't love their children. They love their ego. That's why they rather go out and pretend and lie and say they love their children when they're really feeding their egos. Because
I never got involved in the community or going to meetings or anything like that. Never. But as soon as this stuff overstepped and they started to come after my kids, that's where I draw the line.
But you didn't draw the line because you haven't withdrawing them from the school system. You don't have to.
I just don't know how it solves. I don't understand how it solves a problem. Just turning a blind eye and just worrying about not only oneself, but not. I don't know how to put it.
How to put what?
Well, I'm not just. I'm worrying about my children.
But then take your children out.
Right, I got that. Now, I said that I agree with you, and they gave me a good idea to look into something else, the homeschooling thing. I didn't know that there were actually homeschooling communities.
And who else are you worried about then?
Pardon me?
Who else are you worried about?
No, I'm just worried about the education. I'm not worried about people. I'm worried about the education that's going on.
But if you're taking your children out, what is there to worry about?
Because it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't stop the problem
You're
from
repeating
continuing.
yourself. It doesn't solve your problem.
Yeah. Jesus, this is secular. It doesn't going around in circles doesn't solve anyone's problems if we don't band together.
When you didn't answer my question yet, does it solve your problem and your children?
Not completely. No, it doesn't.
Why not?
Completely.
Why not?
Because it's in every facet of our lives.
Is it in your life?
It's in the yes. It's in
how
yes,
is
it's
it
in the
how is it in your life?
Because I'm surrounded by it.
How is it in your life?
Because it's affecting my children.
How is it in your life?
It's affecting my children. That's affecting my life.
How is it affecting your children?
Because the shit is being pushed down their throats.
And who is allowing that to happen?
Well, I just found this out towards the middle of this year, what was going on.
And so
and then
who was once you found out?
Again, I've allowed it. You're right. I've allowed it.
Okay, so whose fault is that you allowed it?
My fault. Absolutely.
And so your responsibility is to do what?
Stop paying taxes that go into serving kids.
Your responsibility to do what about you? Joe, your responsibility to do what about your children?
To take care of them.
Okay. And once that's done, it's the problem solved.
No.
It's a solve for you and your children.
Partly.
It's a solve for you and your children.
Partly.
How partly?
Because it isn't. I mean, if you don't know what DEI is, I suggest that you look into it.
I know about that. I do know what that is. But how is it not solved with your children, Joe?
Because it's in every facet of their lives. It's still in their face.
Give me another.
We just can't ignore it and turn a blind eye to it.
So give me another. So we're talking about the public schools, right? And you're going to homeschool, find a homeschool family,
Going
friends.
to look into that for sure.
Right.
Again,
and then,
I appreciate that.
So that problem is going to be solved when you do that, right? How else is it how is a facet in their life when we got that problem solved?
Well, eventually they're going to get out of school, and then they're going to go into the real world and deal with DEI into the workplace.
Are they out of school already?
Well, for the summer.
Are they going out in the real world of work?
Well, they're going into high school soon.
So they're not in the workplace and not dealing with DEI in the workplace, right?
Not yet. My daughter will probably get a job when some kind of summer thing probably.
So why are you concerned about something that's not happening?
It is happening.
It's not happening. She's not working.
Well, it's not happening to my children.
So
but
then
it's
why are
happening in
you
general.
worried about something that's not happening to your children?
Why should I wait for it to affect them?
Why are you worried about something that's not happening to your children?
Why should I wait for it to
Answer
affect
that
them?
question first.
I can't answer that question until you tell me why should I wait till it affects them.
How do you know what's going to happen with them before it happens?
Because look at the way the world is going right now.
Joe.
What do you mean it's it's a $9 billion a year industry?
Joe, why are you worried about something before it happens? How do you know what's going to happen?
Because it's happening. It is happening.
Joe, how you know what's going to happen to you and your children before it happens?
Again, how do we stop something that's currently happening, for instance, inside the school system? So we just take our kids out, we homeschool them, turn a blind eye to it, and then worry about it when it comes time, but not fight against it while it's happening? Where's the logic in that?
When you're taking your children out, you're homeschooling them, you know what's going on, so that's why you're doing it. How are you turning a blind eye?
I'm turning a blind eye for their future. I mean,
Joe, you're pulling them out of the schools, right?
Yes.
You're going to find a homeschool and do that, right?
Well, the homeschool.
So how are you turning a blind eye for you and your children?
Because I'm not fighting against it.
How are you not fighting against it? You're taking your children away from it. You're aware of it now. You're taking your children away from it.
I take my children out and all this other stuff, and then it still continues in the public school system.
What does it have to do with you?
Kids, because it absolutely will affect my kids.
No, what would that have to do with you? Your children are not there, Joe.
Right, but they live in the same community in which other children who are being indoctrinated into this. And when my kids say, hey, listen, maybe this isn't a great idea. Maybe we shouldn't, whatever it may be, they'll have a difference of opinion.
And so what's wrong with that?
Well, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having my children having a difference of opinion, but when the other portion of the neighborhood, which is a vast majority outside of just 2 children, are not in that school, they're still being indoctrinated.
And what that has to do with your children?
Oh, no, maybe your dad's lying to you. Maybe the homeschooling, you know what I'm saying?
What does that have to do with your children?
These are hypotheticals, but because they live in a community, they play with other people's children.
But they would know, they would have a different opinion because you have shown them the right way.
Well, my kids, yeah. I mean,
so then, what are you worried about then?
I was in a constant battle with trying to help them understand. Helping my children understand.
That's your job. You're their father. You're supposed to protect them. You're supposed to protect them from evil. And so now that you're protecting them from evil, they're going to see clearly. So when they go out into the world, they can deal with evil in the right way. They can overcome it rather than giving into it.
All right. I see what you're saying.
Is that the truth?
It is the truth.
So
yes,
what are you worried about then?
I have anxiety, so I go down rabbit holes.
Do you know that?
Jesse, I really appreciate your time, man. I don't want to keep you any longer. I really appreciate your time.
So let's start working
on the insightful things. I really appreciate it.
No, I know. Joe, let's start working on you. Where's your wife, by the way, the kid's mother?
She's at home. She works.
You still married to her?
No, we're divorced.
Oh, I see. Okay. And so let's work on Joe. Have you gone and forgiven your mother for making you so weak?
Not yet.
Why not?
Because I think I need to learn a little bit more about God.
Do you know
in order to really do that?
Why? What do you? God said forgive. What else you need to learn about that?
I just want to be closer to Him when I go to forgive.
Do you see that you need to forgive?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And so who do you think is allowing you to see that you need to forgive?
This is another very valid point.
What? No. What? That was a question.
But it's a question that you already know the answer to.
No, I want to know if you know.
Yeah, I said yes.
Who is causing you to see that you need to forgive?
Oh, God.
And so isn't that close enough? How close you want to get? You're one with Him.
I don't know. Again, I'm new to all this, so I don't know if there's any rules that I need to adhere by and not just follow my heart. You know what I mean? Like, to a certain extent when it comes to that.
So when God allows you to see that you need to forgive, there's something else you need to be following?
Well, say it again.
God is showing you, allowing you to see that you need to forgive. You try to figure out what else you need to be following?
Yeah,
what else you need to forgive is it, buddy.
Yeah, I guess you're right, yeah.
No. Why do you think that's not right?
No, I said I guess that's right.
Hold on, Joe. Can you hold one more time? I'll make it short when we come back.
All right.
What a mess. Back in a moment. Oh, the treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Back in a moment. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Okay, folks, the Hake Report is coming up. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m., right at the top of this hour. James Hake is on fire from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. He's on fire. He ain't an anchor baby for nothing. At 12 noon Pacific time. And don't forget that you can support us on cash.app/bondjlp, cash.app/bondjlp. If you need counseling, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. By phone, Skype, or walk-in, go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. To set up an appointment, all right? And then we're going to get to your super chats and all that in a minute. I want to finish up with Joe. Hey, Joe?
Yeah. So
you see, you have the anger and you need to forgive, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you realize that it's God who is allowing you to see that, right?
I'm understanding that now, yeah.
So how close do you want to get? You're closer than you can possibly be.
Okay, I just thought I needed to, read the Bible and, be more well-versed before doing that. But
why did you think that?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just thought that it was part of it.
All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. All the thoughts are of your daddy, the devil.
Well, the devil's not my daddy.
If you believe thoughts, the devil is your daddy. Why do you worship thoughts? Why do you believe him if he is not your daddy?
He's not my daddy.
Then why do you worship him?
He's not my daddy.
So why do you worship him then?
I don't worship the devil. Are you crazy?
Believing thoughts is worshiping the devil. Are you crazy?
Okay, so where was that said in the Bible?
Yeah, bring all thoughts into captivity. My voice.
Okay, so I haven't read the Bible. Perhaps that, to come closer, I should read the Bible, right?
No. There's nothing wrong with reading the Bible, but not to remember. What you need to do, the right way to do it is to be born again of the Father. You got to forgive your mother for turning you away from your earthly father. and then forgive your father, earthly father, for not protecting you, and then you will enter into the kingdom of heaven, and you will
I haven't
live.
talked to him in 23 years, so I don't plan on talking to him anytime soon.
Why not?
And I don't even know where he lives. I don't have his phone number or anything, so I don't have an opportunity. I can say that I forgive him, but I can't say that to him because I don't know where he is.
And do you have anger towards your father?
Not anymore.
And why did you have anger before?
Because he left us when I was 5, and he wasn't much of a father.
He didn't leave you. He left your mother. Your mother lied to you.
Well, okay. You're right. He had a relationship with my mom, but when he walked out on her.
He didn't walk down her. He couldn't deal with the hell in her because she's just like his mama. Just like your wife was just like... just like your wife is your ex-wife is just like your mother. Same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think of when putting things in that perspective. Yeah.
You end up marrying your mother that you could not deal with because you didn't overcome your mother before you married the same kind of woman. Your father did the same thing, man. Your father loved you. He just couldn't deal with your mother. And your mother gave you the false impression he walked out on you, and he did not.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you when I was a kid what lies she told me, if he was coming to pick me up or not, if he was trying to stop that from happening to hurt him or something. I couldn't tell you what was going on there.
I have no doubt that your mother hates your father, and she doesn't want you to have anything to do with him. She'd rather destroy you than for you to be with your father.
She hasn't said anything. She hasn't said anything good about him. Ever.
Right, of course.
Nothing.
I know. That's why you end up marrying mama. You resent your mother. You need to forgive her. Hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. I know now you can help yourself. My wife was just like you. I'm sorry for resenting you. And then keep away from this evil woman and work on your life. Forgive your father. I hope you can find him to have a talk with him. But if you can't, your situation is the same as his situation, except that you're trying to be closer to your children. You don't know why he couldn't be close to you. I'm sure your mother kept him away from you.
I'm trying to not make the same mistakes and the hurt that I felt with him for my kids, if that makes sense to you.
You're not going to be able to help it because your nature needs to change. You're not going to be able to help it until your nature changes, and that's going to only change when you forgive your mother and forgive your father for not protecting you. He couldn't help it. He didn't know how to deal with her. Then you won't make the same mistake. But if you don't forgive, you will. You're already making the same mistake. Look at the woman you married. Look at how you see life already. You're already doing the same thing. Your nature, you need a brand new nature, and it will change when you forgive. And your life will be totally different than what your father and mother have or have had. But you got to work on you, Joe. You can't save the world.
No, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. We have to mow our own lawns before we can try to help someone else.
Take the stone out of your own eye before you throw a stone at someone else.
Yes. Well, thanks, Jesse. I appreciate it.
So, are you doing the silent prayer?
I don't know it.
Go to www.silentprayer.video, and I want to recommend it. www.silentprayer.video. I want to recommend that you start doing that, so that God can calm you down, bring you out of the darkness of your imagination, and the light can carry you the rest of the way. It's going to be amazing for you and your children.
This is why I felt like I need to get closer to God and have God in my life, because He hasn't been there. Probably.
He's always
I haven't allowed him to be there.
Yeah, He's always been there, but because of your anger and stuff, you didn't see Him.
Yes.
So work on you, and so you can see how to guide your children, and let everybody else go to hell until they're ready to overcome their hell. Most people love their hell, Joe. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't even save yourself. How are you going to save someone else, especially when they don't want to be saved? And even if they wanted to be saved, you can't save them. I can't save anybody. Only God can do that. They got to return to the Father.
I just felt like it wasn't me trying to save someone. I felt more along the lines of it was me trying to just bring awareness.
Right, but you didn't even have awareness yourself. Now you do.
No, you're right. Yeah,
but you have it from within.
I'm trying. This is a step-by-step process.
Yeah, you are now. So work on you. All right.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Let me know how it
goes. Have a
goes.
good day, Jesse. All right. Stay safe and stay healthy, man.
You too, buddy. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Amazing. Josh been waiting a long time out of Georgia. That's a line open at 888-775-3773. Josh, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling. Thanks for holding.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. Great call. Great show going on, man.
God is good.
Sir. Yes, sir. I was calling to answer the biblical question.
What color was Jesus?
He was white as snow.
And by the way, happy White History Month.
Oh, yeah. Happy White History Month, Steve, man.
And why do you say he was white?
Because he was pure, and I did a little Googling research, and I found that the word white, or the color white, is the most used color mentioned in the entire Bible, and that it represents righteousness, purity, and innocence, and that's what Jesus was. I don't know what his skin color was. That's the first thought that came to me when I heard the question. I thought maybe he was Arab like Hassan, but that's just a physical. That's what the devil uses. Everything physical is an illusion. The only thing that matters is spiritual.
Amazing. Well, I appreciate your input on that, Josh. And if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
All right.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, buddy. You too.
No problem. Thank you, man.
All right. Bye now. Shane is a first-time caller out of Tennessee. Shane, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you. It's good to talk to you, Jesse.
Thank you.
So I wanted to address the young lady who is talking about her situation with her mother, because I had a similar situation with my wife and her mom and her 2 brothers, where they were driving a wedge in our relationship and trying to pit us against each other. And we did, my wife and I, we've been married for 15 years. We got married when she was 19 and I was 21. And we didn't have a fundamental understanding of how to support one another, but we were able to do that by getting away from everybody.
Yeah.
We moved. I took a job in Texas, and they were from Utah. I took a job in Texas, and our relationship and our bond between my wife and I immensely strengthened because we didn't have them putting their input into anything.
Absolutely.
We did what we needed to do when we needed to do it. We attended church when we needed to. We go to the grocery store. We didn't. My mother-in-law had no say in any facet of our relationship, and that bothered her because she, I guess you would say, she didn't have control over my wife anymore.
Yeah.
But because there was no physical sight. She didn't. She would come and visit, but it wasn't a daily thing like it was when we lived 30 minutes away. Her mom could just drop in whenever she wanted. And when we did live there, it was very toxic. She didn't acknowledge me. She hated my guts.
Yeah.
She didn't acknowledge me when she came to our house, and I thought that was very disrespectful. But to that effect, you were saying to her about I guess in a more remedial sense that's about setting boundaries with her mother, and how her mother is affecting her relationships. What I would say is try and see things from their perspective. Because if you see the way that they're behaving and you see the way that they're doing things, it can help you recognize when they're overstepping, and that's where you solidify your boundaries at. And so if you're able to solidify those boundaries, then you can forgive them. You can start rebuilding those relationships because they'll know where they can go, or they'll know how far they can push. And as they go further and further, you draw the reins in a little more, until the point where sometimes you have to cut them off, and that's it's disappointing. It is heartbreaking.
Why?
Because, as Christ said, love one another as I have loved you. So we can forgive them. I mean, cutting them out. I mean, it's heartbreaking because you want to have these people in your life. However,
why?
Because this is your family. This is your blood.
Those are not your family. Christ came to divide, not to unite. Once you are born again of the Father, the blood family is no longer your family.
Well, of course they are.
Well, they got Christ lying?
Well, no, but I don't think that I should disregard my family entirely.
Why not?
It's like
if you can't get along with them, because the darkness and the light will never get along. If you can't get along with them in the right way, why not disregard them?
Because everybody has the opportunity to change.
But you can't change them.
No, I can't.
And so why do you want to be a part of the darkness if you're of the light?
No, I don't want to be a part of the darkness.
So then why are you disappointed? You think that Christ is disappointed or God is disappointed that people don't want to change?
Yes.
You say yes?
Yes. I think God loves us all.
He loves us all, but not with a disappointed love.
No, but wouldn't it hurt your feelings if your child strayed?
Not one iota.
No. Well, that's the difference between you and I.
Why? But that's emotional love, which is of the devil.
Emotional love's not. Of course it's not.
It is of the devil. Does God force you, when you suffer, does God force you to change?
Not necessarily.
Then why should you be disappointed when someone else don't want to change?
Well, I'm not disappointed that they don't want to change.
Then why are you feeling any pain about it then?
I think what disappoints me about the situation is that I want to have a relationship with them. However, their actions, they
don't want to have one with you. Why do you want to have one with them?
To be the peacemaker, to follow Christ's example.
But you're not the peacemaker.
I can be.
No, you can't.
In this physical life, I could be.
No, you can't. Not at all. It's the Christ in us that's the peacemaker, not you.
Well, of course, but I'm supposed to follow his example that he set, right?
Right, but you're not following an example about wanting to be the peacemaker. Why do you want to be something that you can't?
Oh, sure, I could be it.
No, you can't.
Be the peacemaker amongst my circle, sure.
No, you can't. Did you ever tell her mother to back off?
Yes.
And you told her yourself?
Yes.
Good. Now you're being a peacemaker by keeping your wife from that hell in your mother-in-law.
Oh, absolutely. So this is what I'm trying to say too, is that setting those boundaries and creating those, I mean, so it's a difficult situation when your wife loves these people and they treat both of you terribly, right? And so instead of me just being as aggressive as I possibly could with these people, I ignored a lot of things and took ourselves out of the situation. But when it would come to like major things, I would put my foot down because I wasn't trying to. Because my wife is very non-confrontational, and I can be very confrontational.
Did you put your foot down with the little things?
I would leave.
Why not put your foot down with the little things so you can see how to do it with the big things?
Well, I could do it with the big things, but
why couldn't you do it with the little things?
Because sometimes the little things don't matter.
But they matter to your wife.
Yeah.
And it's your job to protect your wife from the little and the big things. What the?
Well, well, sure. I mean, she can also protect herself from the little things.
Not yet. She'll get there if you do it. She will follow her husband. But if you're not doing it, she has no one to follow.
Well, I don't think that every action requires a.
We're talking about the little things.
Right. I don't think that even the little things. Sometimes I don't think that the little things require you to like do this grand thing. Like sometimes
but now you're exaggerating by calling it the little thing to do the grand things. We're talking about dealing with little things.
Yell back.
If you don't deal with little things, how will you grow so that when big situations come, you'll be ready for it?
I mean, I can't disagree with you there.
No, that was a question. That was a question.
Well, yeah, no, I can't. I don't have an answer because you're right.
So then why do you run from little things then?
It's not that I run from them.
You're not dealing with them, you're running.
Not necessarily.
What do you call it, walking really fast?
I think what more or less what it is that I pick my battles.
No, your battles are always there to pick. They present themselves, and you deal with them, man. You can't run from. The devil is busy. He tell you that you don't need to deal with the little things. That's because he's building up to destroy you with the big things. But if you deal with the little things, he can't destroy you with the big things.
Oh, absolutely.
So then why don't you deal with the little things? Stop running.
Well, I do now. If this is
no, you don't. I do now. No, you don't.
15 years later, well, this is the beginning of my marriage. The relationship that we have with them now is great.
With who?
Because with my mother-in-law.
How is it great?
She loves me.
No, she doesn't.
Sure, she does.
No.
Yes.
Tell her.
But what it took was her to become humble because she was very prideful before. And since everything in her life, everybody in her life has walked away from the church. Has walked away from religion, has walked away from everything, and she's left alone. Besides my wife and I, but we live, we don't live anywhere near them. We live 2,000 miles away. And because of all of that, she had to experience humility.
What made you think she's humble? I could think of many things to call your mother-in-law. Humble ain't one.
I would call her, any kind of negative experience. Depending on the way that the person.
Why do you call her humble?
I wouldn't say that she's humble.
You said she was humble.
No, I said that she said.
No, you said she was humble.
The experience was humbling her.
How is she humble?
Because she's lost everything.
But how is she humble though?
Because she's realized that she's lost everything and she's turned to God. And
how do you know that?
Because I talked to her.
And what she say? I'm humble. I turn to God.
No, she asked me for. We talk about the issues that she's going on in her family. We talk about.
Has she admitted she was wrong or that she was evil?
Absolutely.
She said, "I'm wrong. I'm evil."
She said, "I'm wrong." I don't think anybody would say I'm evil.
But human beings are evil. Why wouldn't they say it?
Well, what is your definition of evil?
Your mother-in-law.
I think that's any in-law.
You're right about that. Have you forgiven your mother?
Absolutely. I love my mother.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Absolutely.
You told her?
Yes.
You told your mother you forgive her?
Absolutely.
And what happened? You went to your mother and said what?
My mother, I love you. For everything that has happened in the past, I forgive you.
You have not forgiven your mother, man. What the? Shane,
how do you know?
You from Tennessee?
I live in Tennessee now, yeah.
Oh, okay. You don't sound Southerner.
I was an Army brat.
Oh, okay. Shane, are you able to call me tomorrow so we can finish this conversation?
Absolutely.
Okay, call me tomorrow. When you call in, I'll take your call. Let him know I told you to call back today, and I go right to your call.
Got it.
Good talking to you, Shane. Amazing.
All right, brother.
Okay. Amazing. We are so out of time, folks. I don't know what happened to that, but it's out. The Hake report is coming up now from 9 to 11. And then after that, the Anchor Baby, the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon Pacific time. Get on that straight and narrow, folks. Become your own man, your own woman. Do the silent prayer, go and forgive, and watch. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. Victoria out of Texas. Chase out of Texas. Melvin, a first-time caller out of Carolina. Rhonda, a first-time caller out of Hawaii. And somebody calling on that one line that was open from Shane. I'll be back tomorrow if the Lord is willing and the creek will rise. Bible Thumper Thursday tomorrow. Become your own. Don't be afraid to stand alone if you want life. But if you prefer death, hang out with the crowd. It's up to you. Take care, folks. And we'll get to your super chats and all that tomorrow. I apologize. I don't know what happened this time, but we'll do it tomorrow. Thank you for them, all right? I do appreciate it. Have a good day, folks. Take care. Hey, coming up.
You must know that so you get something went wrong, but check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. Stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understanding to lose? You better go talk to your mama. Better stop at the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if you don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. So you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you get something went wrong, but and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Other than sex, I wonder, why would a man even need a woman today? Women don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They're in competition with men. They don't want to be wives and mothers. Some want to get married, but they don't want to live in that proper position of life. Because the only purpose of marriage is to have a family. And that's been known forever. And so if you don't want to have children, there is no need to get married. And so I was wondering, why would a man even get married today? I never thought I'd see the day when women would come out of her natural role and be like a man Even though she hate that role, when she was with a man that's weak, she hate him. But if he try to be strong, she'll stop it. I never imagine that. You're seeing good destroyed and abnormal is presented as normal.